I'm going to tell you one of my hospice stories. It's about Jean and Jean, and that would be Jean with a G and Jean with a J. And this is about what you can do with a beloved's ashes. What do you do with those after death? So I took care of this couple, Jean and Jean. And of course, Jean with a J is a woman, Jean with a G is the man. They lived in one bedroom apartment, and Jean, the man, lived in the bedroom. Jean, the woman, she lived in the living room. I had both patients over the course of 3 to 4 months, and never once did they ever go into the other room to talk to each other, to greet each other, to make any contact. They had 24-hour caregivers, and so the caregivers just would each take them into the bathroom individually and just return them to their rooms. And I checked with the caregivers, nope, and they never went back and forth. And the family actually said no bad blood between them. Then they'd been married for 63 years. They had 2 daughters. They really loved each other. So I often invited each one to visit the other, but they always refused. They just didn't want to see the other one in this final decline. Well, Jean, and that was G with the G, the man, was the first to die. And the next week I visited Jean, the woman, and of course asked her how she was. I think I just said, Jean, gosh, I'm so sorry for your loss of Jean. And this must be so hard for you now to be alone in the apartment. And she said, no, I talk to him every day. I'm not alone. He's right here. And of course, I know they never talked on a daily basis or ever that I knew of them. So, and all the time I cared for them. So I said, oh, you talk to him about how you're feeling. You sense him still in your heart. And she said, no, he's right here. I just talk to him when something comes up. Well, it seemed a little bit odd to me. Talking to him every day, he's right here. I was confused. She'd never really alluded to a clear, defined belief in the spiritual afterlife either. So I paused a moment and thought, and then I said, oh, do you still sense his spirit here in the apartment? I'm sure my voice was a little hesitant, and I was looking directly at her face, which was completely neutral, and she was really matter of fact. She wasn't demonstrating any overt grief, and she just said, no, his spirit, not his spirit, he's right here. And I could sense now she's becoming really impatient with me. Her statements are succinct and clear, and now I'm the one that's really confused. So I'm always curious about my patients' experiences. So I tried one last time to get her to reveal her thoughts. I thought, if I'm lucky, she's going to tell me about her beliefs. So I said, Jean, I'm sorry, but can you tell me more about what you mean by saying he's right here? And now she is really irritated with this younger, dense nurse who's just not getting what she's been saying 3 times, and is still driving her to say more. He's right here. He's right here. Right up there. And she raises her weak little frail arm and gestures strongly above, jabbing her index finger up there, and there's shelves up there with knickknacks. And he's in that silver jar right up there. Well, there he was. Duh. I began laughing, and then of course she laughed too, and we just sat there laughing at each other, and it was such a good connection. Jean was right there. So do whatever is right for the ashes of your beloved. You never know what's going to happen, and Jean was right there. Take good care. And don't be afraid to laugh with your hospice patients. Get our booklet, The Hospice Care Plan, A Path to Comfort, because we can help you be comfortable on that path. Go to our YouTube site, The Hospice Care Plan, and watch more of our videos. And don't forget our motto, care is treatment.